back, everyone, to Open Line, talking about a new gun permit law that goes into effect at the first of the year, January 1st, 2020. It's been signed into law by the governor, passed by the Tennessee legislature. We have with us JC Shegog, firearm instructor. You are pro-gun, obviously, as a firearm instructor, former military.
Yes, sir.
But you don't like this bill.
No, sir, not at all.
And so that's what we're talking about. We have a few calls here on the line, so let's go to James. Hello, James.
Yes.
What's on your mind? What do you think?
Well, I got training about 10 years ago and did the all-day training and got the classroom and shot my weapon and got my concealed carry. And I think it was a pretty good deal. It taught you, just some of the basic things, and it was comprehensive. I think people are kind of avoiding the real issue. Whether you get your permit online or you go through that all-day training, what really scares me is that you have weapons in the hands of people who doesn't have the mental capacity. I believe that the guy that did that Las Vegas shooting that killed 58 people, he was a well-trained guy. He had some serious firearms with him. And so it's not my ability to shoot, it's my ability to have an understanding where I'm looking at when you vet these people, are they on psychotic drugs? Do they have a history of violence? Do they have felonies with aggravated robberies and stuff like that? And do they belong to a subversive group? So I think that the state should look at things of that sort instead of looking at whether I can get my permit online or whether I go through an all-day training. And that's my point.
All right, James, thank you. That kind of takes things to another level.
Exactly.
But what do you think about what he's saying there?
That would be very exhaustive to require psychological evals. They do background checks when you try to purchase a gun. They do that. Again, like we said earlier, criminals, they don't go by the rules. So regardless of whatever the rules are in place, they're going to find a way to get a firearm. So, but as far as the additional steps, that would be very exhaustive. A lot of pro-gunners wouldn't care for that at all. But not.
It is different, but there is that big debate about okay, what do we do to keep mentally deficient people from getting guns, people that aren't in the right frame of mind or whatever. And you're in this world, you're a firearm instructor. What do you think? There's nothing we can do?
Well, there's something we can do, but HIPAA laws prevent a lot of that. In order to share that information without the consent of the person, the patient, then now you're getting to a whole different set of laws. So I would love to see that happen. I would love to see it happen. But because we have so many different barriers in other areas, it's I don't see that being feasible right now.
And when you can go online and get one of these permits, again, what do you think about, all right, James is talking over here, but bring it back to your concern. I mean, that is a concern for you, right? You can just go online, you never have to fire a gun.
Right, that is a major concern for me.
Let's go to Linda. Hello, Linda?
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Oh, wow. Some of the new laws in the state are unreal. You can't be married by a person who gets their license online, but you can get a gun permit online. That makes no sense at all. I mean, it's crazy. I would think a responsible person would want to take the class and go through the training. So I think it's awful. I think we're going to have a lot more crime and shootings and deaths and everything.
Could we have, Linda, thank you, could we have too many good guys with a gun? I mean, can we get to the point where there are too many good guys with a gun?
I think that if you are properly trained, that would be something you wouldn't have to worry about. But if you have your own mentality about it, then yes, you'll see some vigilante moves. You'll see some people who want to, they want to do the right thing. Their heart is in the right place, but it has to be more than heart. You got to have your mindset correct as well.
Linda, that is quite interesting what she said.
Yes.
They did. They said you can't marry somebody with an online sort, because I never understood that, frankly, how you could go online and then you're allowed to marry people. So the legislature shut that down. But now the legislature says you can go online and take a test and you can get a concealed carry permit.
Yeah. I believe that the online preachers didn't have a good enough lobbyist.
And we know the gun people have a great lobby.
Right.
But what interests me is both sides of the gun people are raising concerns about this.
Yes, sir.
Because you're, again, not anti-gun, but you're thinking, wait a minute. All right. Very interesting. Okay, let's go to Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Are you there?
Yes.
Taylor, great.
Excuse me.
It's great to hear from you, Taylor.
I've got a couple of questions. One for the gentleman there. I'm a veteran and have sometimes given thoughts to getting a carry permit, but I haven't done that, nor do I keep one in my glove box or anything else. But I'm wondering, do veterans have to take the gun exam as well?
Okay. Do veterans have to?
That's part of it. But my second part is to make a comment about something this other lady was just talking about. I've got guns that I had before there was ever any kind of registration or anything else. A couple that I've got, I probably shouldn't fire it because the ammunition is so old it may blow up on me. But my point is this. There are people that have got guns legally that may have passed a background check 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whenever they first started doing that, but who may have many convictions now on their record or be flagged as very mentally ill that have still got those guns. And so it wouldn't be a stretch to me that if you were going to be getting a concealed permit, that a new background check that would cost you $20, $30 were to be required again as part of that permit. So that's my only two questions. I believe in the Second Amendment, but I'm also thinking this newer law, I can see people shooting themselves in the foot or their passenger in their car.
Yeah.
And they get excited and maybe haven't fired more than one round of bullets through their guns.
All right, well, let me ask about...
dangerous.
Look, thank you, Taylor. Always good to hear from you, Taylor. Thank you. What he's saying about, okay, you pass a background check, does that give you... Do you have to do a background check every other year, or you pass it once, you're fine?
You pass it that one time, you're fine, and you just pay your renewal fees after your, it's 5 years now, but I think it's going to 8 years with the new one. So.
Well, what do you think of that? Is Taylor right? I mean, yeah, you pass it 8 years ago, you may be fine, and now you may be a pretty messed up person.
I think he has a point. He has a point. He does have that's a valid point. So with the renewal, a background check doesn't sound like a bad idea, but that's additional monies. So this is what a lot of people are looking at. Hey, might not have that additional funds for that particular move, but a responsible person probably wouldn't have any issues with that.
All right, let's go to Lucy. Hello, Lucy.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Well, Linda took the words right out of my mouth, basically. I'm a conservative kind of person, and you mentioned liability. That's what I thought when they started this whole process of these carry permits years ago. They were bringing up bonds and stuff like that and the liabilities because of idiots getting their hands on firearms like this, dangerous weapons. That's like, I wouldn't give the keys to my Ferrari to my 10-year-old kid to play car drive because the kid has got basically a weapon of 5,000 pounds or so, that they're steering and they have no idea. So why would I allow somebody to just pick up a gun and carry it? I'm looking at the insurance rates. I want you to go into what liability is, and I've got a suggestion based on, what Linda said, because when I heard this, I looked at the two between the marriage license and this, and I'm thinking, where are the producers of that show or those series of shows that they make so much money on, I think in the late 90s, called Jackass? I think they need to come to Tennessee and do a documentary on our state legislature. Answer me about the liability and I'll hang up. Thank you.
Lucy, that's funny. All right, liability, insurance rates. What about what she's asking about there?
Well, typically the your average handgun permit holder does not have any liability insurance on themselves in reference to a deadly force encounter or a self-defense encounter. There are some organizations that offer that type of insurance, but it's not very popular, and again, it costs. It's additional cost. The issues that I see is not really the liability in reference to insurance, but the lawsuits. The lawsuits for the shooter not hitting their target. We teach in our classes that with every bullet, there's a lawyer attached. So if you're not hitting your mark, you're giving your stuff away.
Okay. With every bullet, there's a lawyer attached.
That's right.
That's funny too. All right. Thank you all for these calls. I appreciate all of it. We're going to take a break. If you want to call in, there are a couple people on the line. Hold on. Robert, Will, others. There's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.